thought I was having the most serious case of deja vu when I started getting tagged in videos of people talking about how there was a lawsuit just filed claiming that Jay-Z R-worded a 13-year-old girl after the 2000s MTV Award. The reason I thought I was having deja vu is because we talked about this specific lawsuit back in October, because this lawsuit was filed months ago. At that time when we spoke about it, this lawsuit had been filed detailing that there was a 13-year-old child who had been R-worded after the 2000 MTV Awards by Diddy and two unnamed celebrities, one being a male celebrity and the other being a female celebrity. In this video, we debunked the rumor that was going viral at the time that Diddy Chase, who played Samara in The Ring, was the 13-year-old who was R-worded at this after party because of some clips that were going around from that evening.
So good, you're doing so good. Coming to the after party tonight.
I'll tag the video below so that you guys can go back and watch it, because I go over all of the details of the lawsuit and how at the time a lot of people were thinking that the two unnamed celebrities were either Jennifer Lopez and Ashton Kutcher or Beyonce and Jay-Z, and we talked about how Beyonce was not present, but Jay-Z was there at the after party. Jay-Z has been accused of being that male unnamed celebrity who R-worded the 13-year-old child at the MTV after party alongside Diddy and another unnamed female celebrity. So not necessarily a new case, just new information. I was able to find some photos of this said after party where this occurred, and I think that they're very interesting. So notably for the after party, Jennifer changed her outfit, but P. Diddy is wearing the same outfit. And this after party was held at a nightclub in New York City called Lotus. And this after party was hosted by P. Diddy and Eminem and Dr. Dre. There were dozens of celebrities who attended this event and who were in these photos. Fred Durst, Ice-T, J-Lo's manager, Benny Medina, J-Lo's sister was also there, David Blaine was in attendance, and of course, Jay-Z was there. Before anyone gets too up in arms, remember this was 2000. So this was before Jay-Z got with Beyonce. And there was a big fight that broke out between J-Lo and Diddy on this evening, where Jay-Z and Diddy are accused of R-wording a 13-year-old girl with another female celebrity present. You can see in this photo, Jennifer is obviously very upset, if looks could unalive. And the woman standing next to Jennifer in these photos is her sister, Linda. Here's another photo. You can see that they are clearly arguing back and forth. Here's the thing, Diddy was present where this alleged crime occurred. Jay-Z was present. At some point in the evening, Jennifer Lopez got very angry at Diddy. And why is that? She had just won an MTV Music Award hours before. She should be having a great night. And this is Jay-Z's response to him being named in this lawsuit. I'm just gonna let you pause to read. I'm not even going to read this to you guys. Who approved this? I'll read you one line. No, sir, it had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you like the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. Talking directly to Tony Busby when he says this. But here's the thing. Jay-Z openly dated a 15-year-old girl while he was up and coming in his career and had everything to lose. Wouldn't even begin to shock me that he could potentially commit as heinous of an act as R-wording a 13-year-old girl alongside his buddy and a woman. I would not put that past him. So anyway, the original video I did about this lawsuit and debunking the claim that Diddy Chase was the Jane Doe, the 13-year-old Jane Doe, is going to be tagged below in the description so that you guys can go watch that as well. But I will continue to keep an eye on this, and thank you guys for keeping me posted and tagging me and making me aware of the updates in this case.
What's even more strange is that people are not even talking about the case per se. They are talking about Beyonce. Even though we know that Beyonce was not dating Jay-Z at the time, you know? She was probably still busy with Destiny's Child, an upcoming career woman. So now that she's in bed with him and it's her husband, she has to deal with this mess.
Yes, he did. Yes, she knew. As someone who was sold off to him at the sweet, tender age of 18, don't forget. All right. She knows very well who her man is. I don't even need to say a word. I just need to tell you who that man's friends are. Of course he did. Of course he did. Of course he did. You already know he did. J-Man? Mr. Big Pimpin'? Of course he did. I'm just not sure why we're confused. Really? 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 Oh my god, y'all are so fucking funny. What do you mean? Confused? Shock? Aghast? Do you hear the rain? That's amazing. Even the sky is confused about your confusion. When it rains, it pours. Hey, black women, I need you to stop and listen to me for like 2 seconds. If you're in a relationship with a man, right? I swear to God, this Jay-Z thing, this is the litmus test of your entire fucking relationship. When I tell you that his reaction will be the reason you need to start divorce proceeding. If he says, this is for the courts to decide, you are not safe, get the fuck out. Girl, if he says, we don't know, we weren't in the room, you are not safe, get the fuck out. If you have children with a man that says things like that, your girl child's not safe. You are not safe. You should get the fuck out. This to me is one of the biggest red flags, okay? You need to run.
I feel like if I say my point right now, someone is gonna say, oh well, you are defending Beyonce. I am not. Okay, it's very easy. It's very easy to point out your opinion. Very, very easy if you haven't been in it. It's very nice. It's very nice. Even I can say, I'll get out, and then you get into that very situation and you do the exact same thing. Like Beyonce and Jay-Z, they're like a billionaire corporate couple at this point. And there are things that just willing to overlook, especially Beyonce. She's trained. She's been trained to do this. It's her career. Beyonce cares about her image, about her career, and all of that. You know, and I'm she's a little bit nutcase more than Jay-Z, literally. Okay. But then we it tends to happen when you love an older man. You tend to be the little one. You tend to lose it psychologically. It happens, I'm telling you. So I'm not gonna say my point. I'm just gonna share everything because YouTube wants me to show my face. But relevantly, I'm just showing everyone so you guys can see. I just don't want to say anything else because I'm just feeling like even if she knows, it's like she won't do anything about it. And if she does, it's probably for her own benefit. She won't do it because of that girl. I'm just telling you right now. If she does it to protect herself. That's all. You?
While these men are criminals and absolutely deserve to be persecuted to the full extent of the law, I do feel like it is strategically being done in order to break the black spirit 100%. People have known about these crimes for years. People have allowed them to take place. And you mean to tell me that in the same year, back to back, we have seen these beacons of black economic prosperity, capitalists, wealthy black men specifically, being taken down, tarred and feathered in the media? I would liken it to a psychological Tulsa riot, the bombing of Black Wall Street. I do not believe Jay-Z is innocent of anything he's accused of, to be honest. This is a man that has proudly talked about his crimes on wax. Him calling himself like a young black man, like, sir, you're 55. Like, that's the issue. You think you're still, it's okay. You have 2 albums with R. Kelly. You were doing studio sessions with R. Kelly. We know what happened in those studio sessions. You know what I mean? You worked with someone that abused Aaliyah. You were trying to get with Aaliyah. That was supposed to be like at least a mutual friend and a young lady. But you don't care about women. You take advantage of them. You use them to advance your station in life and your social position. It's all about positionality and adjacencies with Jay-Z. He's very intelligent, but he's very wicked. Bianca, Tina, Solange, Aaliyah, Emil, Foxy Brown. I would even say Little Kim to a certain extent. Blue Ivy. All of these women in your life you have manipulated and positioned to shield and protect you, much like how Diddy does with the women in his life. Even mentioning them in your letter was very suspicious to me, because I'm like, why are you even talking about your wife and your daughter and bringing up children in a case where you have abused children? That wasn't very smart to me. You sound like a user and a manipulator. And it's also clear that you like typed that out yourself and posted it, and also had it ready in your notes, and we're giving like CEO vibes, like just post the shit now. Like it gave old nigga. This would have worked a decade ago, maybe 2 decades ago, definitely. Today, it's not working for you, my babe. It's shutting the fuck up would have worked much better. I would have been completely silent. I'm just going off the dome, so I don't know if I said it already, but the attack on these like black capitalists, someone that has literally said that he like runs Black Wall Street and is the face of black enterprise at the intersection of entertainment and business, Jay-Z, Jigga Man, taking him down in such a public way at this time in our country's like transition feels intentional. It feels like a psychological Tulsa riot. I do think I need to expand like that thought a little bit more, but in the same way that the whites got mad at like the black girls having their money, having their own economy, having like, you know, success and prosperity, and they burned down their entire city and their shit that was self-sustaining. It feels like now our social cachet is being targeted within the media and within society. Blackness is one of America's greatest exports. It helps every single one of us on this app stay popping, helps us get jobs, like our personalities, like our vibe, our swag, girl, our cunt. Like, so to attack the guy that kind of like, for a long time, had the keys to like what was cool for black, that's on Obama's like, you know, what are those things called? End of year playlist. And like, you bring out Bianca's doing presidential endorsements. Like, that's done, my girl. It really feels like there's a concerted effort behind the scenes to position any successful black person as like a DEI hire. And they're like, we're getting rid of DEI. These people only got to where they are because of DEI. Like, look at them. They're all criminals. They're unqualified. Like, that seems to be the larger, like the big picture. Like, I'm looking down from my eagle eye, and it's like, it's not even about the crime or like positioning people as criminals. It's positioning them as unqualified and like in positions of power for the wrong reason. Look what happens when you put the unqualified people in place. They're like corrupting society. They're degenerates. It's not even about the crime. And I think that's going to have larger repercussions for people in black business and entertainment, like moving forward when it comes to like forming these big conglomerates, running culture, having access to like government entities. I'm just going off the dome. When I talk about it later, it'll be more refined. But what do you think?
Then you wonder why Rihanna didn't want to make more music. She only made the music that she made out of obligation. She went on the Tyra Banks show and told Tyra Banks on stage in front of a whole audience, he told her she had two options at the age of 16. That she was either going to A, sign the contract and go out the door she came in, or B, not sign the contract and go off the 29th floor, out of the window. Tyra laughed. The audience laughed. They didn't take any of what that 16-year-old girl said seriously. That's a problem. You sat here and heard this girl tell you that her life was threatened on national TV in front of everyone. And you, as a celebrity, with the amount of people, the fame that you had and popularity at that time, you sat there and said, oh, and you must have said, where's the paper? Where's the pen? Then he turns around and goes on another interview. Several, as a matter of fact. I think one of them was like the Howard Stern show or something. And he says, yeah, I gave her options, and I'm glad she chose the better one. He knows what he said to Rihanna at 16. He knows. He knows what he's done to Rihanna at 16. And then people wonder why she doesn't want to release any more music. She never wanted to do it. She had an obligation. It was that or it was her life. He could have made her go away just like that. So to sit here and play stupid like y'all don't know what this man is capable of with the amount of power and money that he has. The moment she had the opportunity to get out of music, she got out. She got the heck out. And she has not looked back since. And I don't blame her at all.
Said there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor. So you was like, where's the pen? Where's the paper? I'm signing.
Yeah, so we signed it that night. We didn't let her leave the office.
Really?
The 3 a.m. was when that contract got signed. So from the meeting around 3, 4 in the afternoon, we signed it by 3 a.m.
Wow.
That day. I was absolutely certain.
And she was what, 17 years old at that
She
point?
was 16.
16.
And I tell her, there's no way out of this office. I signed her that day.
Wow.
Dad, I know I promised you I'm going to give you my first Grammy, but we might have to fight for this one.
She said she wanted to thank everybody for her first Grammy.
Anyway, I'd like to thank Jay-Z for being a part of this record with me.
She liked to thank Jigga Man for being the greatest in the world.
Ellen Reed, Steve Bartles, Tata, Jay Brown, Karen Kwok for finding this amazing record. Tricky, Dream for writing.
I'm not a lawyer, but one of the lawsuits that was previously filed against Diddy has been updated, and it now includes Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z, aka Beyonce's husband. You know I read the lawsuit, so let me give you a recap of what is being alleged in this one. So the lawsuit was filed by an Alabama woman who says that when she was 13 years old, Sean Combs and Sean Carter drugged and raped her at an after party following the 2000 Video Music Awards. The plaintiff, who was going by Jane Doe in this lawsuit, alleges that sometime around September 7th in the year 2000, when she was just 13 years old, she got dropped off near the Radio Music Hall because she wanted to attend the VMAs. So she wasn't having much luck getting into the award show, so she started speaking with some of the limo drivers who were parked around the area. One of the drivers tells her that he actually works for Diddy, and according to the lawsuit, he tells her that Diddy likes young girls and that she fits what he was looking for. Ciao. So this driver and this 13-year-old child arranged for her to be picked up by the driver after the show and taken to an after party that Diddy was going to be attending. So everything goes as planned. The driver picks her up, and according to the lawsuit, when she arrives to this after party, she signs what she now believes to be an NDA. And according to her, there was widespread use of things to get you intoxicated. And after accepting a drink herself, the plaintiff, who again was 13 at the time, quote, began to feel woozy and lightheaded. The plaintiff goes on to say that she goes into a room, and soon after entering into this room, Sean Combs, aka Diddy, enters the room along with defendant Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z, and a female celebrity who the lawsuit is noting as Celebrity B. Celebrity B? What's that supposed to mean? The lawsuit says that the plaintiff immediately recognized all three of these celebrities, and from this point, the suit says that Diddy threw the plaintiff toward a wall and then grabbed her again and threw her on the bed. He then, according to this lawsuit, began removing her clothing. The suit goes on to allege that the plaintiff was then held down by Sean Carter as he engaged with her and while Combs and Celebrity B watched. The suit says that after Sean Carter finished, he stepped back toward the wall, and then Diddy stepped up and began engaging with this 13-year-old child while Carter and Celebrity B watched. The suit goes on to allege that Diddy then knocked the plaintiff down and attempted to force her to engage with him in other ways. It says that she fought back, standing up quickly and punching out at the same time, hitting Diddy in the neck. As a result of her hitting him back, the lawsuit says that Diddy was a bit surprised, and that's when the plaintiff took the opportunity to grab her clothing and her shoes and run out of the room. The lawsuit says that this plaintiff then ran out, and she eventually found her way to a gas station in which a female clerk noticed her and let her use the phone. The 13-year-old then calls her father, admitting that she lied to him about her whereabouts, and she asked him to pick her up. The dad comes and picks her up, and from there, the suit says that the plaintiff fell into a deep depression, which continues to affect every facet of her life. She now suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder and a seizure disorder caused by stress and trauma. She has had difficulty maintaining normal relationships and lives largely withdrawn from society. And so that is why she is suing and why she has updated this lawsuit to include Jay-Z. The plaintiff's single cause of action is for violation of New York City Victims of Gender-Motivated Violence Protection Act, which is the act that a lot of these celebrity essay lawsuits have fallen under over the last year. So it's basically falling under that. A statement has already been released and posted on Roc Nation's Instagram account, which says that, quote, "My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir. It had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. This lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these type of theatrics. I have no idea how you have come to be such a deplorable human, Mr. Busby, but I promise you I have seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. My heart and support goes out to true victims in the world, who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. You have made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the project of Brooklyn. We don't play these type of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake physics, will believe the idiotic claims you have levied against me that, if not for the seriousness surrounding harm to kids, would be laughable. I look forward to showing you just how different I am." Child, I want 2024 to end so bad. I'm not a lawyer, but did you know that before Jay-Z was included in this amended Diddy lawsuit, the firm that filed the lawsuit was sued for extortion by a John Doe? A little bit of context. The extortion lawsuit was filed on November 18th by a John Doe who is described as a celebrity and public figure who resides in Los Angeles, California, and he's bringing this lawsuit under the pseudonym John Doe to avoid the irreparable harm to reputation that he seeks to prevent through this action. The plaintiff will disclose his identity to the court through a sealed in-camera filing or as the court otherwise deems appropriate. Now, in regards to this extortion lawsuit, Tony Busby posted a statement saying that Jay-Z previously denied being the one who sued me and my firm. Busby goes on to call the lawsuit frivolous and clearly believes that the John Doe is Jay-Z. So, of course, I read through the lawsuit, so let me tell you about it. The lawsuit goes into who they say Tony Busby is, and child, they had a lot to say. It starts off saying that Busby and his firm are shamelessly attempting to extort exorbitant sums of money or else claiming that they will publicly file horrific allegations against John Doe, including multiple instances of rape of a minor, both male and female, unless he complies with their demands. Again, this was filed 3 weeks ago, so it was before the amended complaint was filed today. Then the suit says that Busby and his firm have a history of extorting money from high-profile individuals by threatening baseless legal action, including a situation from 3 years ago when the FBI apparently opened an extortion investigation in connection with Tony Busby and a client he was representing. The client, through the firm, was suing a football player named Deshaun Watson for SA, and while the lawsuit doesn't say what exactly happened with that FBI investigation, it does say that Deshaun Watson was never criminally prosecuted because 2 separate grand juries rejected the charges, which John Doe and his team say prove that the claims were baseless. This lawsuit also notes that Tony Busby and his firm are currently representing clients who are suing both Yella Beezy and Chris Brown, which again, they say goes to show that this firm represents clients who target or seek out high-profile individuals that they can get a payday from. From there, the lawsuit goes into one of Tony Busby's own situations, saying, quote, Tony Busby was arrested in March of 2016 for driving under the influence, But Harris County District Attorney Devon Anderson personally dismissed the case after Busby completed pretrial intervention. The dismissal raised significant concerns because having the district attorney sign off on the dismissal was exceedingly rare. And while the pretrial intervention program generally lasts a year, Tony Busby's case was dismissed after 8 months. Then there's even more claims about Busby taking on clients whose goal is to extort high-profile people, including an NFL player whose name is Brandon McManus? I don't know how to say his last name, but the overall takeaway is, according to this lawsuit, Tony Busby and his firm have a pattern of bringing about outrageous allegations against high-profile people and then using intermediaries to send threatening demand letters to those high-profile people. And if those people refuse to pay, the firm then uses the media to try and destroy those people's reputations. So specific to this instance, the lawsuit says that Tony Busby and his firm have basically tried to capitalize on the bravery of the first 9 victims that came out and sued Diddy by creating a hotline and then advertising that hotline and saying that basically there's money to be made if you have a claim against Diddy and you don't even have to reveal who you are. But the problem, according to this lawsuit, is now that Diddy's behind bars, he won't be making payments to any of these clients anytime soon. So Busby and his team have devised a scheme to obtain payments through threatening anyone with ties to Diddy and that has means and a reputation of their own. So someone like Jay-Z, for example. The suit says that in November of 2024, Tony Busby and his firm made demands to John Doe and his team, and the demands included allegations that John Doe had raped multiple minors, both male and female, who had been rugged at parties hosted by Diddy. The demand that they sent had a time clock on it and a threat that they would take a different course of action if John Doe and his team did not commit to a confidential mediation to resolve this delicate and important matter by the deadline. Now, it does say that John Doe and his team reached out to the Busby firm to better understand the basis for these allegations and whether there was any evidence or real people behind the claims. And although the Busby firm did reveal some details related to what the client had to say, the firm would not provide information on how they were validating what the client was saying unless Jay and his team entered into a confidentiality agreement, and apparently they weren't willing to do that. This lawsuit says that these false allegations have caused John Doe emotional distress, including anxiety and fear for himself and his family, and that these heinous and false allegations could permanently tarnish his reputation, subjecting him to public scorn and condemnation. The fallout would irreparably harm his personal and professional life, destroying his career, legacy, and emotional well-being, while causing significant emotional and economic suffering. And so this John Doe is suing Tony Busby and his firm for extortion and intentional infliction of emotional distress.